Hello, everybody. Today, I want to talk about what questions you ask the interviewer. Typically, at the end of the interviewer will give you a chance to ask some questions. Um, you should at least ask one question, um, but no more than three. This is my recommendation. Um, First, before I get to that, first of all, if you find this channel useful, please subscribe. That tells me that somebody is getting some value out of the channel, and that really motivates me to do more videos. All right, get on with the topic. So why 1 to 3 questions? If you don't ask any questions at all, it kind of shows the interviewer that you don't you didn't think this interview went well, or you don't really have an intelligent thought about this role, or you don't have interest, so on and so forth. It kind of ends the interview kind of abruptly, and that doesn't bode well for your chances. So at least ask one question. Unless you've already asked some questions along the way, then it's okay. Then you just say, "Oh, you've already answered my questions, so I'm good," right? Now, why not more than three? So what typically happens, the interviewer, even though he or she is the interviewer, it's a little bit of work for him or her too, right? Uh, he or she has to figure out what to ask, and sometimes maybe some difficult questions to ask, and so on and so forth. And after an hour of doing this, you know, he or she already has decided kind of whether or not he or she is going to pass you on to the next step or not, right? So taking time and energy from the interviewer by asking too many questions kind of, if by that point you're already in the good camp of somebody who's going to get to the next stage, you're not helping anything by keeping the interviewer more with you and taking more time and energy from you or her. um, so yeah, no more than 3 questions is my. Generally, I ask maybe 2 questions. Now, what kind of questions should you ask, right? If you get questions along the way, right? If you think of questions along the way that naturally flows from the conversation, those are the best questions. Some follow up about something he or she has said, or something that's been already talked about that gave you genuine question. Those are the best type of questions. If you can't think of any questions like that, I have some default questions that I ask. One of the main one is, what does success look like in this role, right? Basically, if whoever's hired in this role, what does he or she has to do or accomplish day to day, or in a week, or in a month, or quarter, and that will make him or her successful, right, in this role. That it does a couple of things. One is, it shows that you still have interest, and you really are looking forward to succeeding in this role. The other common question you can ask, a default question, is what challenges the team is facing right now. That will give you some insight as to what the team is working on, what stage they're in, and it gives you some flavor of the work that you're going to do if you do get this role. And the other thing I always, not always, but I try to find out either from the recruiter or from the hiring manager is, what does the interview process looks like? Sometimes it's just maybe 3 interviews. Is it a coding interview or not? Sometimes it's long. Sometimes some of these roles have like 6, 7 interviews, right? Typically, a junior role would have maybe 2 interviews. A senior role might have 3, 4, 5. Uh, a staff or principal will be a lot longer, maybe 5, 6, or 7, whatnot, right? So these are the questions I typically ask. And again, to summarize, no less than 1 and no more than 3. And if you can come up with questions based on the conversations, those are the best questions. I hope you found this video useful, and I will see you next time.